After a buyer's offer for a property is accepted by the seller, there is a lot more that needs to happen than what most people realize before the property is officially transferred from the seller to the buyer in the deeds office. So whether you're buying or selling a property, it is crucial that you understand the transfer process through to registration in the deeds office so that you know what to expect, you realize what the timelines are, and there is no misunderstanding between buyers and sellers. My name is Andre Forster from eXp Realty South Africa. Myself and my wife Lydia have been real estate agents in Cape Town's northern suburbs since 2005. Please remember to like and subscribe to make sure you receive future property tips and updates. Okay, firstly, the offer to purchase or the OTP must contain all the essential details regarding the purchaser, the seller, the property description, and the purchase price, as well as any other terms and conditions of the sale. Also remember it must be in writing and signed by all the parties. Once a seller has accepted a buyer's offer to purchase the property, the transfer process begins. The following steps are not always in an exact timeline, but this will give you a good idea of the whole process and will probably give you a lot more respect for your transferring attorney and their conveyancing secretaries as you start realizing that there is a lot more involved in this whole process than meets the eye. So immediately after the acceptance of the offer to purchase, if there are suspensive conditions in the OTP, such as a bond that is required maybe by the purchaser, or it might be subject to the sale of the purchaser's property, then the purchaser must start the process to fulfill those conditions by, for instance, applying for the bond or loan, and then, of course, starting with the marketing of his or her property, if applicable. In the meantime, a copy of the signed offer to purchase should be sent to the transferring attorney, together with an instruction informing them that they have been nominated to take care of this transfer. The transferring attorney will request the purchaser to pay any applicable deposits within the period that is specified in the deed of sale. That is, of course, if a deposit was agreed upon. The transfer attorney should also request cancellation figures from the seller's existing bondholder, if applicable, to find out what portion of the seller's proceeds need to be paid to settle his existing bond. Once the purchaser's bond is approved, the purchaser's bank will send an instruction to the attorneys of their choice to attend to the registration of the bond over the property. We refer to these attorneys as the bond registration attorneys. The bond attorneys will issue a guarantee to the transferring attorneys for the amount of the bond that was approved. The transferring attorneys will then also request guarantees for the balance of the purchase price from the purchaser. That is, of course, if the bond does not cover the whole purchase price. The seller's existing bondholder will supply the outstanding amount required for the cancellation of that existing bond, and simultaneously instruct the attorneys of their choice to attend to the cancellation of the bond. The existing bondholder will also forward the title deed, which was kept by them as additional security, to these attorneys. We refer to these attorneys as the bond cancellation attorneys. If there was no bond registered on the property, the seller should be in possession of the title deed himself and must provide this to the transferring attorneys. The transferring attorneys will also apply for a rates clearance certificate from the local authorities, and they will also apply for a levy clearance certificate from the Body Corporate or Homeowners Association if that is applicable to the property. Once these have been calculated, the transferring attorney will be advised accordingly, and the seller must then make payment thereof in order to obtain the necessary clearance certificates. It is very important to note that no transfer may be lodged in the deeds office unless it is accompanied by the rates clearance certificate from the municipality. Right, now the bond registration attorneys will request a draft deed of transfer from the transferring attorneys. This is necessary to obtain details regarding the title conditions, the purchase price, the date of sale, etc. After instruction to register the bond has been given by the financial institution, the transferring attorney will proceed to draw up all documents regarding the transfer and arrange for signature thereof by both the seller and the purchaser. Additionally, they will request payment of transfer costs from the purchaser. Of course, both parties are also required to provide FICA documentation and adhere to all FICA requirements. Similarly, the bond registration attorneys proceed to draw up all documents pertaining to the registration of the bond, and they will have these signed by the purchaser. The transferring attorney submits an application for a transfer duty receipt to the receiver of revenue, or SARS. This must then be paid by the purchaser to the attorney, who pays it over to SARS. No transfer may be lodged with the deeds office unless it is accompanied by the transfer duty receipt, which is issued by SARS after payment of transfer duty by the purchaser. Now, the bond registration attorneys then issue the necessary guarantees in favor of the seller or the seller's existing bondholder. By this time, the transferring attorney should already have received the required clearance certificates as well, and also the transfer duty receipt and the title deed, and will be in a position to lodge the documents for registration in the deeds office. So the transferring attorney then contacts the bond registration attorney, as well as the bond cancellation attorney, in order to effect the simultaneous lodgement of the various deeds in the deeds office. The transferring attorney attends to the registration of the transfer of the property from the name of the seller to the purchaser. The bond cancellation attorney attends to the cancellation of the seller's existing bond. And then, of course, the bond registration attorney, on the other hand, sees to the registration of the new bond to be registered over the property as security for the purchaser's loan. So this set of 3 registrations is then submitted simultaneously to the deeds office. And after being examined by the examiners in the deeds office, they are placed on preparation, where the various attorneys, that's now the transfer, the bond registration, and the bond cancellation attorneys, will have to attend to any notes made by the examiners in respect of the documents. Then after the documents are cleared by the examiners on prep, the documents are then forwarded for registration the following day. Once that is done, the property officially belongs to the purchaser. This whole process in the deeds office can take approximately 7 to 14 working days. But it can vary depending on the situation in the deeds office. Okay, after registration, the attorneys involved attend to the following. They must present guarantees for payment of the purchase price, which is then received and allocated towards settling the existing bond firstly, then also paying any agent's commission to the agents, and then the balance will be paid over to the seller. The local authority or municipality is also advised of the registration and of the official change of ownership. After registration, the deeds are numbered and microfilmed at the deeds office. This process can take anything up to 3 months, and then they are delivered to the transferring attorney. The transferring attorney will then forward these title deeds to the bond attorney or the bondholder, who retains the same together with a registered bond document as security for the loan that was granted. If, however, there was no bond involved, in other words, it was a cash sale, then the title deed is given directly to the purchaser, who now owns the property. I hope you found this information helpful. Feel free to reach out to us for further assistance or with any additional questions you may have. Of course, if we cannot answer them, we will direct you to someone who can. Also, to stay updated in future, please like and subscribe to all our channels on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course TikTok. You can also visit our website www.propla.co.za, which features a frequently asked questions section that answers many property related questions. If you need any advice, please get in touch. We'd love to chat with you. Or if you are considering selling your property, let's discuss a customized marketing plan tailored to your specific needs. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and God bless.